folks, welcome to FiddleHed Fiddle Lessons. You'll see more results if you learn how to practice well. Deliberate practice is a scientifically studied method for doing this. Here's the basic idea. Focus on the parts that need the most work. So here are 5 big things you need to know about deliberate practice. Improve one small thing. The plan, do, reflect process. Practice the hardest part of the hardest part. Embrace mistakes. Practice transitions. Now that you get the basic idea, let's learn how to do it and let's practice it together. Each time you practice, make it your goal to improve one small thing. Take this one small thing from being unreliable to reliable. So if you find that you can't do that in 1 to 3 sessions, then simplify that small thing. Make it even smaller. If it was 4 bars, make it 2 bars. And if you were playing it at 70 beats per minute, maybe play it at 60 or 55 beats per minute. Whatever it is, you want to get to a point where you have noticeable improvement on one little thing. This means that you're actually moving forward, and it also will give you a little emotional boost. It will be a small step and a small win, which will keep you motivated to keep playing. Small steps, small wins. So now let's learn the plan, do, reflect process. What's great about this is that it will help you to find what's really hard about the tune. And then once you find the hard parts, you will then refine the process and find what's hard about those hard parts. I like to say finding the hardest part of the hardest part. Plan what you'll practice. Do that practice task for 5 minutes. Pay close attention. Record what you do. Notice what's hard as you practice. Reflect on how it went. Ask yourself, what's difficult? Why? What specific things could I work on? What smaller thing can I work on? Then we will continue to do the plan, do, reflect process. We will refine the things we work on until we get to the point where we've worked out all those little hard parts. And then once we've figured out those hard parts, we will then integrate them back into the whole and eventually play the whole tune. So now let's actually work through the process with a tune. I'm going to use Arkansas Traveler as an example. So our first phase of plan, do, reflect, we're kind of in a discovery mode. We're kind of looking for what is it that's hard about this for me? And then we will take it from there. So let's say I play the whole tune. And then I go on and I play the B part, that was the A part. And so during that, the first step was to plan. What I planned on doing was a particular tune, Arkansas Traveler, and the next step was to do it, just play it all the way through. And as you do the do step, pay attention to what's hard about for you. You may want to record your practice because it may be hard to really notice what's hard about that. So another very good hint or clue is, do you notice that you slow down at certain parts? Those are probably the hard parts. So I noticed that I slowed down on the 4th quarter of that A part. All right, so now I have a tune. I know that that's a hard part. I also found out that the 1st quarter of the B part and the 2nd quarter of the B part are hard. So now I have 3 big hard parts to work on. Let's now refine the practice. I'm going to choose for now to work on the 4th quarter of the A part. So that is this little bit. So now that's my new plan. And so now I'm going to just do that. Just practice that and see what I discover. Okay, so then after doing this for a little bit, I'm trying to pay attention. Where does it feel hard? I think it feels hard somewhere in the middle. Maybe I've recorded it and I can go and listen to that. Somewhere around there, I think it's hard. So that's the continuing process of reflection now. I have this one hard part. Now let's dive even deeper. Let's find the hardest part of the hardest part. Okay, awesome. So now I know that this is my new practice piece. I'm further refining it. So I'm planning on doing this part from the bigger part. So that's my plan. Now let's do it. Maybe I need to slow it down. And maybe through further refinement, I'll find that what's really hard is going A to D3. Get better at that, then I go, and now I'm going to slowly work backwards towards the whole tune. Awesome. Now that I've worked out some hard parts from the tune, I now will kind of stitch them back in to the whole tune, okay? And so what I'm going to do to practice that is just work on the transitions. So we have, this is the hardest part of the hardest part. So maybe what I'll do is I'll first practice getting into that. And I do that transition practice a little bit. And then I can also practice the transition out of that hard part. And do that a few times. Finally, I do the whole original hard part, which was the first quarter of the A part. Let's do it slowly. Okay, so we can continue the integration phase of plan, do, and reflect. My next plan is to take the first quarter of the A part and practice going into the second quarter. There's a lot of ways you could do this. So what we could do is practice the third quarter into the fourth quarter. Just do both. Let's say I had trouble with that. What I could do is practice just a few notes at the end of the third quarter and a few notes at the beginning of the fourth quarter. So you have, and that's just more focused on the transition. Does that make sense? So the ending of the third quarter, and I could actually speed that up so I can get better at it quicker. And after I've done this very focused work on the transition from the third quarter to the fourth quarter, let's just do the whole third quarter and fourth quarter. All right, so that's the deliberate process practice in a nutshell. I want to mention a few other very helpful ideas. One is to embrace mistakes, to learn to see that mistakes are actually opportunities. They're actually the tune or whatever, the universe saying, you need to work on this. Here you go. I want to help you out by pointing this out to you through this mistake. So learn to reframe in your mind a mistake as kind of a great gift showing you what you need, and to not get so upset about it, all right? The other main thing I want to leave you with is to document what you practice. So every time you play, just take a note of what those hard parts were, so that tomorrow when you start up again, be like, oh yeah, I struggled with the fourth quarter of Arkansas Traveler. Maybe I'll just start with that. In fact, and that's kind of a good principle too. Start with all the hard parts if you know them. So then tomorrow, I don't have to go through the process of discovering the hard parts. I already know what they are. So maybe it won't take me as long. I can just, maybe in a couple minutes, practice that a few times and be like, okay, that's pretty good. and it gives me more time to then move on to some other challenge. Also use recording. I do both note-taking and recording every time I practice. I'm probably a bit extreme and nerdy with this, but whatever works for you. If you just simply jot down, I need to work on a few things tomorrow, and it can be very simple, or some people get more into it and they want to get more complex with it. That's fine too. Also make recordings for feedback. A lot of you I know don't have in-person teachers, and so you really have to be your own teacher, and recording will help you with that. It'll help you with the deliberate practice process because it gives you that feedback, which is essential to it. Okay, so I just want to say thanks to you all for watching, especially thanks to the subscribers who took the original workshop for deliberate practice, which I gave, and through their good questions and comments, it helped me refine this lesson right here. So special thanks to all the subscribers who attended that. And I hope this is helpful to you. Let me know if you have questions. So long. Go to FiddleHed.com for a progressive, step-by-step course outline, color-coded tabs, play-along tracks, sheet music, and much more. Thanks for watching the video. Excellent! And don't forget to subscribe. Thanks.